Hi. Okay, so I'm just out for my walk today. It is a snowy one, and I'm doing some thinking about my video that was yesterday about, when you're so busy and you have so much on your plate, sometimes your symptoms are less because you are totally caught up in what you're doing. Your mind is riveted to other things, and you have a mission, and your energy is being spent on other things. Conversely, when you literally have nothing to do, you can relax, you can take a breath, when you can just unwind, sometimes your symptoms rage. And this is because you literally have nothing else to think about, and your mind is always busy scanning and scanning for symptoms. As soon as it catches one, it will just keep going with that and rivet that cycle up because you have nothing else to focus on. So how do we integrate being so busy and being stressed out by our to-do lists and an overpacked schedule that we may be able to not focus on our symptoms, but it's causing us stress? And then how do we integrate, having enough, time to calm down, having enough time to calm down and be calm and be peaceful without having so much time on our hands, or without being so focused on our symptoms because we literally can't think of anything else because nothing else is as important or is able to be strong enough to take our mind away from them. So how do we do that? So when you're trying to integrate those two sides, one of the first things is a schedule. And so you can put some things on your schedule at night before you go to bed. Like, there may be some standard things for healing that you're going to do every day. Like, I'm going to, make a smoothie or do some juice, or I'm going to walk. I'm going to do some meditation. I'm going to do some yoga, and I'm going to, whatever it is that you have on your list. Okay. So you go ahead and put that on at night, that you're already planning to walk and to meditate and to whatever you're going to do for the next day. But you also need other things. So it could be as small as, I'm going to bake these 2 recipes tomorrow. I'm going to go to the grocery store and get groceries. I'm going to put like 4 or 5 errands or things to do. And the key is also making sure that you can enjoy them. Something that you've always wanted to do. Maybe you've always wanted to try a new recipe. Maybe you've always wanted to go to a new town, or you've wanted to do something or take up a hobby. Schedule that on your list. So it's important that you have things on your list that are going to, what's the word I'm looking for? That are going to have enough momentum behind them that you can get caught up in them, and you can sort of lose getting caught up in the symptoms. So they have to be, if you put meditate, you may not be able to rivet yourself away from your symptoms because all you're doing is sitting there and thinking about them. But if you're making a recipe, or you're doing some sort of a hobby that you've always wanted to try, you may get caught up, not always at first, but you may get caught up in the act of whatever you're doing, or reading the recipe, or focusing on something, or a conversation, or even watching a program, as silly as that may sound, put on a funny Netflix show or something like that, where you can totally get lost in a story and your attention can be taken away from your symptoms. So you definitely need a routine, and you need many things on your to-do list, so you don't just wake up and you're like, oh, I'm done my walk, I'm done my meditation, I've done this, and now all I can think about is my symptoms the rest of the day. You really need to make yourself busy, but fun, not overwhelming busy, but fun busy. Things that you like to do, things that you can get lost in, things that are guilty pleasures for you, whatever it might be. And so keep yourself busy enough, but busy enough with things that A, you have to do, B, that you want to do, and C, that you're interested in trying. And then on the other side, sometimes you have those weeks where you have too much on your plate. None of it seems like what you wanted. It all is overwhelming because you're doing for other people. The to-do lists are piling up. And maybe you aren't focused on your symptoms, but your stress is rising because there's so much going on. There's so many, there's so many moving parts, and you're sort of resentful underneath it, or maybe you're a bit angry, or maybe there's something going on because you really feel like you have no time to breathe or to do anything for yourself. And this is where it sort of turns into bad stress, even if you may not feel the symptoms at the time, because you're pushing down those feelings, you're pushing down those angers and those resentments and that stress and that, oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed, and you're not taking breaks for yourself, and you're not really. So then basically when you stop that list, or when the event is over, a lot of times, boom, your symptoms will explode and they will go absolutely crazy because you've pushed them away because there was something to get done, or you had an event, or there was all kinds of Christmas things coming up, and you put everything else on the back burner to get everything ready for this party. And then the party's over and boom, you get hit with symptoms, and you're like, why is that? Why is that happening? Because I now should be able to breathe. But no, you have pushed your emotions down the entire time, and they resurface in the way of pain and symptoms, and you suddenly don't have anything else going on your list, and your mind doesn't have anything else to distract itself with, and so you're riveted again on your symptoms. So in that case, what you want to do is make sure that you're taking lots of breaks, lots of time out, lots of time for yourself, lots of rest periods. You're taking moments throughout that busy schedule to go into the room, to have a nice cup of tea, to set a timer for 5 or 10 minutes and be like, I'm going to do nothing right now, or I'm going to take a walk, or I'm going to take a break. Maybe I'm going to take a nap. Maybe I'm going to just sit in peace and read through a magazine, or flick around the TV, or anything. So you want to give yourself enough breaks in a super hectic and busy schedule, with enough self breaks. Do some journaling, do some meditation to let those feelings out. So this is what I say, the integration between the two. When we're on the busy side and we're not feeling our symptoms, but we're creating all this stress and internal, and we know it's going to explode at some point. We have to find time for ourselves, for breaks, to do self-care, to be kind to ourselves, to journal along the way, to let those feelings out, to not bury them, to be conscious of them the whole time. And then when we're on this side and we have all the time in the world, we need to fill our schedule with other things, with meaningful things, with things that can take our mind off of our emotions and our symptoms, all those symptoms that our body wants to rivet on. So it's a balance, and it's finding an integration between the two. And when you do, then suddenly we're not building up on this side and we're not focusing on this side. We sort of have an even, steady flow. And the ebbs and flows and the highs, the good days and the crashes get better. So what we're looking for is, we're not looking for a really good day, a bad day, a good day, a bad day. We're not looking for those drops, peaks and valleys. We want to start to make it more, maybe we're not having super great days and super low days, but we're kind of having medium days, and eventually this will go up and up and up and up. So we want to build balance, and that's how we do it. We integrate both sides with taking enough breaks on one side and filling our plates